Do you find that a lot of people, with great respect, Claude, a lot of people would regard you as a nut?
You know, when people who don't read the book, first you have to read the book.
Yes.
People who
the
don't
message
know what,
from the extraterrestrials.
yes. People who don't read the book.
Yes.
I think if I was like that, if I wasn't, for instance, somebody will hear myself.
Yes.
Maybe at the first time I will have this kind of reaction. But because I have a very high level of curiosity, I will first read the book and think by myself.
Yeah.
So, for instance, the man who is in charge of the movement for England, for Great Britain, is Dr. Marcus Wenner. He is a neurobiologist. The man who is in charge of the movement in France is a very famous scientist. We have 20,000 members. And in Canada, the man who is in charge of the movement was Catholic priest and theologian before. He read my book, he stopped to be Catholic priest, now he helped me. And we have 20,000 members like that in the world, all fantastic people. So, of course, people who have reaction, usual reaction, without any curiosity, knowledge.
Well, they are frightened of new knowledge, perhaps. That's what it is. Yes, John, line 5, I beg your pardon. Yes, line 5, good evening.
Hello, Kay.
Oh, sorry, yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am, I'm listening.
I was just wondering, what way are the people dressed? And as well as that, is there any children?
What way are they dressed, and are there any children?
And do they ever get old?
And do they ever get old? 3 in 1. How are they dressed?
So the man I met was dressed with a one-piece suit made of a material who looks like leather and a dark green color.
Yes. Are there children?
They can have children, but because they discovered the secret of eternal life, they can live eternally through different bodies. Like the first man described in the Bible, maybe you remember, Methuselah was living 930 years, Adam 903 years. So because of this knowledge, they can have 1,000 years life. And when they start to die, they take one cell, and the scientists on the earth start to discover what is that. They name it cloning. Because in one cell you have the genetic code, the map to make a new body. And so they can have a new body. It's what they did with Jesus. When Jesus was dead, they took one cell, they created a new body for Jesus, and all the primitive people thought, he was dead, he's alive. And they thought it's a miracle.
So there are no children in this place?
They cannot have children because when you have eternal life, and if you have children, very fast you have overpopulation.
But yet they do grow old, you say. They
yes.
do grow old.
Yes.
And then they sort of insert the gene in another body
to have eternal life. And we can easily have the same thing. It's only scientific.
Do they have sex, Claude?
Of course.
Why?
Because it's one of the most beautiful things in life.
I see. But children do not result from sex.
You can have sex without children.
Yes. Yes. You see, it seems odd that they have so much knowledge and they're so far in advance, and yet you're, as it were, looking to raise money for an embassy. Now, why didn't they give you the money if they're that smart?
Because it's exactly the same if you have a house and you invite your friend to come in your house. Will you ask them to bring their bed and to bring the furniture of the house?
Yes, I would.
Really? I don't know if many friends would like to visit you if they have to.
Right enough, they don't come often.
Yeah. So, yeah. But it's up to us. We have the choice. They are not invaders. They respect us. So they will come only if we want to welcome them.
See, they love us, do they?
They love us. It's a love story between them and us.
Yes. Are they well satisfied with us, with our general behavior here on Earth?
They are satisfied in the direction we are now from a few years ago, because before they decided to send me this message on the earth in 1945, August 6th, when Hiroshima bomb exploded, because they were afraid for mankind, because they love mankind. They created this beautiful planet, and for the first time in our history we had the energy to destroy all life on Earth.
Everything.
And they were afraid of that, so they gave this message, and they asked, there are a lot of information in this message. For instance, they say it's time to create a world government, because you are on a small vessel. We are, everybody here is in a small vessel. When you look at that from the sky, you can see a small vessel with separation. And people are spending a lot of money to build atomic weapons, and a few hundred kilometers from this place, people are starving. It's so crazy when you look at that from the sky. So we have to realize we are on the same small boat.
Why didn't they give him any scientific knowledge
to
help him?
Knowledge.
Which, I mean, they must have known how people, human beings, if we're made like them, are skeptics. And surely they would help him in some way with some scientific knowledge.
Yes.
Maybe something that would help him to show us why we shouldn't have wars. Something to help us with disease that they haven't got there. One breakthrough in AIDS, one breakthrough in cancer. Let him produce that from them, and then we would say, oh yeah, he's got something.
Right, you see, this is a persistent little cock, you know what.
That's why we want to put in Northern Ireland.
Yes.
You know, I first of all, I said, please give me something. Because it was, for me, terrible. I was journalist, and I had to change my life and suddenly to become a messenger. It was terrible for me. And I asked, give me something to prove. They said, no, nothing. We just want you to spread the message. And the people who are ready will help you. We don't need to convince all the mankind. We cannot convince all the mankind. And you cannot convince. Jesus couldn't, Moses couldn't,
That's right.
Muhammad couldn't. So you have just to find the right people, they are at the right place, to bring them together, and they will help you. We already are 20,000, and we will build this embassy.
We have evidence of Stone Age man fossils. What happened to the laboratories? Where's the evidence that where we were originally supposedly built?
Yes, large, but made of a very cheap material. Because more we are advanced, more we use cheap things. For instance, the razors used by people a long time ago were big. Now you can use and put in the garbage the day after. And it's this kind of biodegradable things we will use more and more.
Yes, love. Over here. Sorry, lads. In the second row. Yes, hello.
Hello. If they wanted to create us in their likeness, why did they bother making us in the form of apes to start off with? Why didn't they just go in and create man as it is today?
Yes, it's exactly the same problem for cars. We start human beings to create very small and primitive cars, and then we started to create more and more sophisticated material. So they did the same. They progressed. They started to create unicellular animals, and then more difficult frog and a mouse, and they started to create in an ecological way to balance life on this planet. And it's wonderful, and it's wonderful to look at the life on this planet, because all the animals, we have millions of kind of animals. Everything is balanced. It's the reason why it's so terrible to see ecology catastrophe we have, because we have to respect this creation. It's wonderful. Every animal is important in this creation. It's the reason why they balance everything, and finally, like the Bible explained, they created man to be happy in this beautiful planet, which can be a kind of Garden of Eden if we are together.
They don't appear
to many people. Why do they only appear to single people?
On this planet there are 50 million of people who saw UFOs. So it's a lot of people. But
we don't believe them. A great number of people don't believe them.
Yes, but it's not a question of believing or not. Now scientists say it's not possible we are alone in the universe. So we have to understand, when we look at the sky summer night, we can see so many stars, and when we know every star is a sun and there are planets around, it's crazy to believe we are alone. So, and they choose only one messenger at every epoch. Why? To have only one message and to don't change the message.
That's reasonable. Yes, who called? Yes.
Could I ask, what type of contraceptives do they use?
I don't know. I don't know all. I just bring a message. You know, I am a messenger. I receive the message, and I would like to know everything in the universe, but I don't know. I'm sorry.
Have you any particular reason for asking that?
Just the fact that they don't have children and...
Claude, thank you very much indeed for coming to the show. It's nice to meet you. You're a gentlemanly person. Claude Royale. We'll say goodbye to Victor Kayam as well to help set up something else.